Let me ask you something. If your success in your business didn't come in 6 months, would you still show up for 6 years? Now, everybody wants to blow. I mean, fast fame, fast money, fast recognition. But here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Every field is already crowded, not with masters, but with noise. People chasing hype, not mastery. The difference between the ones who last and the ones who disappear? Simple. Patience, discipline, time. Because mastery doesn't trend, it builds quietly, and most people quit before they are even dangerous. Today, I'm breaking down 5 signs that separate the crowd from the committed, the loud from the lethal, the starters from the finishers. Stay with me. This might just shift your mindset. I believe by now you know what I mean by the crowd, except if you are the kind of person that skips introductory parts of videos. So yeah. The crowd are those people that are hungry for results and are not willing to put in the work. Now they want to have what everybody wants to have. Of course, everybody wants to be rich, but who is willing to put in the work? They said everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody wants to die. So that's the irony of life, and that makes the difference. Now let's see. My aim for this video is to see how make you not to be part of the crowd. It's possible that you are not part of the crowd, but then you may know somebody that is part of the crowd. You may share this video with the person. Yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And it's also possible that it may be you. Now, there are different things that we chase in our lives, right? Some people have balance in some things, and some people don't have balance in some things. Now, when you get introduced to something new at times, you may end up joining the crowd. It depends on the pursuit, not just monetary or business success pursuits. Maybe in finding your life partner or some other things. So people do follow crowds, right? So basically, in everything you do, you just need to learn how to not follow the crowd. Now, let me be sharing the characteristics, but then I'll be focusing more on financial success, though, in this video. But you can also apply some of the principles to other parts. Number one thing that you would see from the crowd, the reason why we call them crowd to start with is because that's where majority are. Now, the crowd are impatient for results. They want to make money fast. They don't want to go through the period of the brooding. See, even a hen, before she hatches her chick, she has to brood them first for a while, laying down the egg over and over again. Now, there's a process that goes through birthing of anything, of any idea of success. But then many people are not willing to go through that particular route. It's possible that you may see somebody that, has made it big within a month, and then you may be eyeing the person. But then what you would fail to understand is that the person started that hustle maybe for a while, and then the person has been struggling and has been learning for a while. Of course, you will not see some of these parts coming out, but then you will just see the part that he made it big within a week or within a month. Now, you may now be crazy for results and then think it will take you a week also or a month also to get that thing done. But then you see, when you start chasing things like that, that's already the beginning of the end, because you're not going to get it. Now, what happens is that most of the crowd just sees that particular part, and they don't know the part of the stories that are dirty, the part of the stories that are scary, the part of the stories that are uncomfortable. And then because of that, they're not willing to follow through that particular part. What now happens? They now end up failing. So what you are saying is this: just add a little bit of patience. When you add more patience to that particular thing that you are doing, who knows, you may reach to the top. The thing there is that if you apply these principles, you may succeed. Emphasis, you may. But then if you don't apply them, then you stand no chance. Because with patience, you can use the ladder to climb to the top of the wall, right? But then the question there is that the ladder that you used to climb, was it resting on the right wall? So it's possible that you may actually have the patience that you need, but then it's just that you are, being patient on the wrong thing. So it's also important for you to understand. But you see, many times people don't even wait to understand whether or not they are actually being patient to follow the right thing, and then they just end up concluding that that particular path that they are putting on not being productive, and they now end up leaving. Moving on, I would share more light. Now, to further portray on the point of number one, we are moving to point number two. The point number two, the crowd are easily distracted. Now, when you see people who are easily distracted, they don't make it much, right? Why don't they make it much? Because they end up jumping from pillar to post. Now, what does that mean? When crypto was coming out, they were part of crypto, right? Now, instead of you to be diligent enough to learn crypto, how to learn forex, you now saw people doing their video editing. Because of that, you now moved to video editing. Now, instead of you to now remain in the video, you need to be patient and move on to learn it to the best. You now saw another thing coming up, you now jumped to it. You now saw somebody painting and making it, you now left the video editing and moved to that one. You now saw somebody doing sound setting, you now left that one and moved to sound setting. Now you're literally jumping from pillar to post. You're not focusing on something. Because of that, it makes you to be part of the crowd. Because you are desperate for results. You don't now have the staying power to stay in one thing, to brood a particular idea till the end. So don't be distracted. The fact that somebody is having success in a particular field doesn't mean you should just jump up to that particular field. There are different things that will actually lead to the success. One of them has to do with passion, among some other things. Of course, passion alone is not what you need, right? Because it's a passion hypothesis theory from a book, that the fact that you're passionate about something doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make it big in that, right? So there's some particular things that you need to put in place, though. When you check some of these boxes, and then you continue diligently, that's when you see the result. So if you just keep on jumping from one place to another, you're still not going to get the result that you crave for. Another characteristic again of the crowd is that they are motivated by hype, not purpose. Now it's the same thing like you saying somebody is jumping from one place to another. So they get a hype for something, and then they follow what everybody is talking about. When you go to social media and you see everybody talking about making money through a particular means, you see them there. The problem there is that hypes, most of the times, they do have deadlines. Now once the hype dies, their passion also dies. It then means their progress in that thing was tied to the hype. Now if you're continuing like this is not going to be a way, because there are things that trend all the time. It means you'll be jumping to the newest trend, following the hype. And once the hype is no more, and this is principle doesn't just apply to making money. In different aspects of life, people actually get it wrong by doing this particular thing. They follow hypes, and that hypes, some people follow hypes in finding their life partner, and then when the hype dies in the relationship also dies. Some people follow hypes in choosing their career path, right? Do I want to study medicine or this? And then when they now move into that particular path, when the hype now dies, their passion now also dies. In different things, people normally choose hypes. So it's important for you to understand that choosing hypes is not the way forward. Another thing that the crowd does is that they avoid deep work and deep learning. Now, for you to master anything, you need to learn it very, very well. When you read Mastery by Robert Greene, you will understand that he spoke about the apprenticeship phase, right? So you need to learn to be an apprentice. You need to learn very, very well, learn under mentors, read a lot, understand more about that particular field that you are venturing into. Now, many people don't actually do deep work, don't do deep learning. They just do shallow learning, right? Of course, because they want quick results. At the end of everything, because they were not patient enough to learn what they need to know, they would end up saying that particular thing is not working. Trust me, what you are seeing outside is, when you see a fashion designer being successful in his work, don't just think it's just 1 month of fashion design and all that. There's some other things that maybe they may not teach you in school, that experientially you're going to learn them. Some things you can only learn them when you read some particular books by some people. Some things you can only learn them when you follow some particular people that are successful in that particular industry. There's some tricks like that you just pick here, pick there, pick here, pick there. When you pick them, then you now join them with your own unique proposition, and then you will now stand out. Now, many people don't actually know these things, right? Because of that, they just tend to do a shallow level of learning. And then at the end of everything, you see them jumping from one handwork to another. Today, you're learning solar installations. Tomorrow, you're learning fashion design. Next tomorrow, you're learning hairdressing. Not find the one that works. And then left for you, you will now think the universe don't like you, whereas you're just the one that is being impatient to stay and learn till the end. Another one again is that they quit when you get tough. You see, pressure tests purpose. There's nothing in this world that won't pressure you. I don't think there's any field in this world that when you go through it, you will not be pressured. In fact, if you want to understand this very well, just get some students and ask them to debate on which course is toughest. Almost all of them will tell you their course is tougher, and they would explain reasons why their course is tougher than yours. I studied chemical engineering. Now, when I'm conversing with my other engineering, with my fellow engineers that study different parts of engineering, you could see us arguing on which course is actually tougher. Is it chemical, or is it electrical, or is it others? In fact, when we meet with people from other departments, from different faculties also, you will see them trying to show you how their course is actually toughest, right? Why is this so? Because you that is there is the one that knows where the shoe is paining you. Now, it would be foolish of me to decide to leave chemical engineering, an instance, when I was still in school, to go to another department because I felt that particular department would give me least resistance. Every department actually has where it is paining. Now, it's the same thing actually with business. Every business has the moment whereby you reach a tough part. It depends on your priority though. If you are aiming to reach the sky, right, there are moments that you have to actually shake yourself. You will shake yourself. You may even get into states of panic attack and all that. It depends though on the pressure that you are actually on at that time. So being diligent enough to pass through all of these things is what I give you that success that you desire. Now many people are not willing to go through this particular thing. The moment they feel a little pain, they leave. Now this is not the best way to go. Be patient and walk through that fire. Before you get to heaven, you have to pass through hell. Now these are just a few points that separate the crowd from those that actually make it. There are a lot more. You can even type yours down if you have another to add. Let me say something. Mastery isn't loud, it's quiet, patient, consistent until result brings out the noise. Just take note of this. This is my advice for you. Take it and please don't leave it. Do well to like, share, comment, and subscribe. See you on my next video.